they poured across the border.
A lot of people criticize soldiers because they enlisted, and I know that that's a legal agreement that you make and that you're supposed to follow up with. But the particular situation that we're in now is very different because so much information has come out that the war is illegal and that we were lied to get us into war. But especially once soldiers go and serve in Iraq, they begin to realize the reality of what it means to be involved in war crimes, to see the constant horrors and humiliation of the Iraqi people. And so they have a change of heart. And of course, I've heard it said many times that war changes people, but I think that what our soldiers are being asked to do now really does change them. And the ones who go to Canada, the ones who've been to Iraq, know more than any of us civilians or the government agencies will really know about what it does. I have a nephew who went to Iraq. He was in Ramadi for almost 2 years. At the end of that time, he didn't know why we were there. He knows that the Iraqi people want our troops out. And he's been deployed to Afghanistan now, and he's still wondering what was the good of what he did in Iraq. And so I think that there's a lot of soldiers who feel that way, and I'm out here today to support the ones who have a different kind of courage that can step up and say, I will not be a part of this madness anymore.
We're out here today in front of the Canadian Consulate in Seattle, one of 14 cities where people are having vigils outside of Canadian consulates today to protest imminent deportations of U.S. war resistors. Corey Glass, an Iraq veteran who did not want to return to Iraq, has been given by the Canadian government until tomorrow to leave Canada or face deportation. In the meantime, the Canadian Border Services Agency in British Columbia has arrested another U.S. war resistor, Robin Long, and are threatening to deport him back to the United States in the next few days. If they're deported back to the United States, they will be court-martialed and imprisoned because they refuse to be part of the illegal war and occupation in Iraq. This is totally against the will of the Canadian people. 64% of the Canadian people, according to a recent poll, think that war resistors should be allowed to remain in Canada. The Canadian Parliament on June 3rd actually passed a motion calling on the government to allow war resistors to immigrate. And last week we won an important court victory in Canada. And yet the minority conservative government in Canada seems very eager to place these war resistors back in the hands of George Bush. So we thank the Canadian people for all the support they're giving our war resistors, and we're asking that the government do the right thing, stop the deportation proceedings immediately, and set up a program to allow U.S. war resistors to immigrate to Canada.
Under a foreign sky, my fate awaits me. There but forgone go I, do not forsake me. I am a boy, full of promise, full of freedom. My joy is dead and done. I am gone. Before the western sea, my home was in the valley. There with my family, I took to manhood early. I was the one my brother called, my mother looked to me her fire.